I would say this is arguably one of the most underrated resorts in Colorado, often getting lost behind names like Vail, Keystone, Breckenridge. I think Winter Park, Colorado is not only one of my favorite resorts in Colorado, but one of my all-time favorite ski resorts that I've ever visited, beating out many bigger names and resorts. We snowboarded 2 days in Winter Park last snowboard season, one of which was the most memorable day of snowboarding I have ever had. But before we get into the full Winter Park review, just a few quick Winter Park stats. Winter Park has an elevation of 12,060 feet, a vertical drop of 3,060 feet, 3,081 skiable acres, and an average snowfall of 360 inches. Winter Park is on the Ikon Pass, and there is no blackout dates, even with the base pass. If you're coming to Winter Park, definitely pick up the Ikon Pass. It's going to be your cheapest option, but if you are to buy a lift ticket there on the day of, lift tickets are $179 per day. There's 168 runs and 23 chairlifts. Getting to Winter Park from Denver is just under a 2-hour drive. However, be warned, you do go over Berthoud Pass, which is a steep, sort of gnarly switchback road. We didn't have any trouble personally on our drive in, but the next day there was an avalanche there due to a blizzard, and it did shut it down, preventing you from getting into Winter Park without going way out and around, which on our trip, those routes did get blocked as well for a day, so it can be a little difficult to get to. Definitely get a car with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive and use caution. So the drive's not too long, but it can easily get much longer. You do have an additional option to get to Winter Park starting around the second week of January or so that runs till the end of March. You can fly into Denver, take a train from the airport to Union Station, and then on Fridays through Sundays, you can take the train to Winter Park. You take the Winter Park Express. I've heard they're looking to extending the season of this train as well as offering more days of the week, especially around holidays. This isn't an option I have done personally yet, but it's something I really want to and plan to try to do this snowboard season. It's a fairly cheap train ticket, and then it would save you the hassle of having to rent a car. You could either stay downtown in Denver and take the train back and forth, or if you're going for a longer stay, you could take the train into Winter Park, stay in Winter Park, and then take the train back to Denver when you're ready to leave. You'd have to time your flights with the train schedule, but this would prevent you from having to drive at all, allowing you to relax and enjoy a beautiful 2-hour train ride. My plan, like I said, this season is at some point to test this out and do a more budget Winter Park trip just to see how it goes. Once you do get to Winter Park, you've got a small ski village as well as there is the actual town of Winter Park, which if you are in Winter Park, there is a gondola that runs to downtown. I love this because it gives you so many options for shops, restaurants, and lodging. You get plenty of places to go all right in that area. This is nice because if you're on a longer trip, you've got plenty of food options, plenty of shop options to keep you occupied on your stay. You can stay in town and it's a little bit cheaper, or you can stay the ski in and ski out at the Winter Park Village. It's going to have a slightly higher price tag, but then you can literally walk out the door, strap up, and then at the end of the day, ride right back to the door. If you're looking for an incredible ski-in and ski-out condo at a very affordable price, check out the one I have linked below. It's the one we used on our snowboard trip. It's literally brand new, super modern, super comfortable, has a huge closet to store all your gear with hangers for your skis or snowboards. It's got an incredible bathroom, definitely one of the standout features. You literally walk up the hill in the morning, maybe 20 feet, you can strap on your board, and you take the cat track down to the main base of Winter Park Village. Then at the end of the day, you can snowboard literally right to the door. It's one of my favorite condos of all time and definitely worth checking out. Quick tip, if you are coming to Winter Park and staying in a condo, you pass plenty of Walmarts on your drive in from Denver. We did this and bought all our groceries to save a little bit of money. Then we just brought everything with us to the condo so we had groceries. So definitely stop at a Walmart on your way in if you are driving. But if you're wanting to go out and eat some in the village, the Mexicali Taco Company had some incredible street tacos. They were really, really good. Then in town, Smokehouse Barbecue was excellent. It can get pretty crowded though. We wound up doing it for takeout and then eating barbecue at the condo and relaxing on the couch. Now, the fun part. How is the skiing and snowboarding at Winter Park? Well, Winter Park is divided into 7 different territories. You've got the main Winter Park area, Vasquez Ridge, Eagle Wind, the Cirque, the Mary Jane section, the Parson Bowl, and the terrain parks. Now with the conditions that we had and the massive size of Winter Park, we weren't able to explore the Eagle Wind area or the Cirque, both of which look incredible, or the Parson Bowl, which I was really disappointed. They were under a blizzard while we were here, so the closures were just due to the insane amounts of snow, which I'll take that insane amount of snow all day with some closures, not complaining whatsoever. I definitely want to go back and hit the Parson Bowl because riding off the Panoramic Express was one of the main things I was looking forward to on our trip. So I do want to talk about, though, the areas that we were able to explore. The main Winter Park Village. The main Winter Park area is great for all skill levels and abilities. It's got a good range of terrain for all levels. We spent a lot of time in this area because from our condo it was just the easiest to access. It's got a great variety of terrain with groomers, easy access to the terrain park, some options to get in and out of the trees, and overall it's just a really well-rounded area. There's something for everybody here, and we spent the majority of our first day here finding new and fun lines every lap. We enjoyed the heck out of laps off the Olympia Express. The crowds for this lift never seemed too bad, and we found some really fun lines through the trees. Also, we were just able to find some fresh lines here all day, so it was hard to want to explore anywhere else. Next up is Vasquez Ridge. This is a great area for intermediate and advanced level riders, and this was an area I loved and wanted to do more laps in, but there's a bit of a catch to it. To get all the way out to Vasquez Ridge as a snowboarder is a bit of a pain because it has a very long, flat cat track. We had to skate and walk quite a bit, and it's just rough. It would be much easier for skiers. There is a midway chairlift that avoids having to go all the way down to the bottom, but then you have to wait for a chair that's empty enough coming up that you're able to get on. So the line for this looked really long and it didn't look like it would move fast. So every lap you're faced with that long cat track all the way to the bottom or wait in line mid-mountain. So for this reason we only did one lap over here, which was a shame because the terrain looked really good. We went down the Gambler and got into the trees and we just had some really great tree riding, but as a snowboarder, cat tracks are a nightmare, and so we didn't come back here after that one lap. It does look like this area has a lot to offer, so if we came back on a non-holiday weekend potentially, I'd love to come back over here and give it another shot. The Mary Jane section. Now this is definitely the most well-known and most popular area of Winter Park, and for good reason. This area of Winter Park offers some incredible terrain for advanced riders, gives you tons of great riding, getting in the trees, and this is definitely an area I want to explore more because the laps we did get through here were some of my all-time favorite snowboard laps I have ever had. The day we were riding the Mary Jane side was also the day we got 30 inches of snow, so with the super deep snow and a wind chill of -30, we explored a lot, but there's definitely so much more we could cover. Every run we did over here was an absolute blast. Like I said, it's some of the best snowboarding I've ever had. The day we got all this crazy snow was by far the most memorable day of snowboarding of my life. So if you're at Winter Park and the conditions are right, it's absolutely going to offer you that epic light Colorado powder that Colorado is known for. When I do come back, this is where I plan to spend the majority of my day. The only downside I could see about the Mary Jane section, whereas it is the most popular and most well known, obviously the crowds are going to be a little bit higher and the snow got tracked out a little faster than some of the other territories. As a whole though at Winter Park, especially considering we were there on Martin Luther King weekend, so it was a holiday weekend, the crowds were much better and lower than a lot of the other Colorado resorts that I've been to, so it wasn't bad. This area just seemed to lose fresh snow a little faster, which is why on our first day we stayed in the Winter Park section because we were able to find fresh lines all day long. Winter Park is a big resort with such a well-rounded variety of terrain. I think that anybody of any skill level could have a great time skiing or snowboarding Winter Park, Colorado. The only real downside to Winter Park terrain, again, is just that mainly as a snowboarder, we did find ourselves on several cat tracks throughout the day and got stuck and had to walk out. But even with that, it's not going to deter me whatsoever from coming back to Winter Park. I think the riding there is incredibly good, the snow quality is excellent, and on a powder day, you can find fresh snow all day long, which for a Colorado resort is hard to do. Lower crowds than what I've seen at other Colorado resorts, and just the most memorable day of snowboarding of my life. These are things that simply just top off Winter Park and made it great for me. All of these things have absolutely had me dreaming of Winter Park all year long. Like I said, I definitely plan to go back and potentially do a trip taking that train every year and hopefully start making an annual Winter Park trip, if that tells you anything about how I feel about this resort. I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't plan on going back myself. I'd say Winter Park is easily my second favorite resort in Colorado and my fourth favorite resort overall. I think regardless of the conditions, the riding here would be a blast. With such a big resort to explore, even on a longer trip, you've got plenty of terrain to keep you occupied. Like I said, in my 2 days here, I feel like I only just scratched the surface and still have so many other territories I didn't even touch. If you have any questions about Winter Park, definitely comment below. And again, if you're looking for an incredibly awesome condo to stay here that is ski in and ski out, I've got that link down below as well. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully snowboard and ski season starts soon.
This is the most insane snow ever!